When using the virtual clock, something that I noticed is a common misconception is that the hour hand stays pointed at one number until you get all the way to the next hour, which if you were to use this clock, we obviously see that it's constantly moving. So when it points to 9 o'clock, it is pointed right at the 9. But as we move all the way around the next hour, it is now 9:39 and it's closer to pointing to the 10 than it is pointing to the 9. So a common misconception kids will have, and a lot of times adults who don't use analog clocks very often, is that they forget that the hour hand moves as well. Now, even though this activity is not about telling time, the more opportunities you give kids a chance to manipulate and play with clocks, even to do an activity that's focused on angles, is very powerful for them to see how clocks work. Now, if a child was still learning how to tell time, they would not need to know exactly what the time is on this clock because right over here we have the digital time provided. Now, part of the activity was to explore this manipulative. Now you notice the mode that we're in currently is time, but we could actually change it to show the angle itself, and we can show the angle measurement as well. If we wanted to, we can change the hand so it's nice and thin and we can see what that time looks like. So if we were to think that 9 o'clock shows, let's go try to be precise with this. So 9 o'clock does show a 90-degree angle. Sometimes I've heard, well, 9:15 should show a straight angle, 180 degrees. But if you notice, as I get to 9:15, it is no longer pointed at the 9. I know this may seem advanced for students, but once again, if all they're doing is moving the hands around and then trying to see, well, what is that angle measurement, and then having to write down the time here, it's still, students are still able to access the activity and complete the activity without knowing exactly what time it is, or you can always challenge them to figure out what time it is and then to check their answers here. Now you'll notice on the clock as well that we can go all the way around past 180 degrees and it shows us a reflex angle. If that's something that you are not working on with your students, you can just come down here at the bottom and change where the angle is pointing. So that way you always have an angle that is under 180 degrees, which is what elementary students focus on.